news producer Sydney Bowles, and it may be summer, but the work of running Burlington Public Schools never ends, and that includes getting acclimatized to a brand new school for Burlington's newest principal. Tim McMahon just started as Marshall Simonds Middle School principal July 1st, and he was kind enough to take a couple minutes to introduce himself to us here now. Principal McMahon, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me, Sydney. Appreciate it.
So yeah, we were just talking before the camera started rolling. It sounds like it's been a couple of weeks and you're starting to get your feet under you?
Yeah, it's been since about 2 weeks. It's awesome. There's an energy in that building, even in the summertime. There's a lot of summer programming going on right now. But working with the secretarial staff, a lot of teachers are coming in, working with my assistant principals. We're getting ready for the new year, and my first day in the job, I emailed my staff saying, here's when I'm available, sent out a sign-up sheet, and come on in and meet with me. So we're doing a lot of kind of informal conversations with staff who at their leisure come in and hang out. So yeah, it's been a really enjoyable start to the career. Yeah, it's been nice.
That's great. It's really fascinating. I mean, you were saying that this is a school that's been running well for a long time. There are a lot of really talented and passionate people there. So how do you start to come in and say, I want to learn about your expertise, and I'm also here to be a leader in that, that sort of complicated
Yeah,
dance.
I mean, the first thing is you have to be a better listener than anything else.
Yeah.
It's not my first time coming into a building as a principal where it's already running pretty well. So from my opinion, philosophically, the objective is to come in, listen to my staff, listen to the students and the parents, get to know the school community as well as I can, and then identify areas that might need some improvement, or continue to foster an environment that's cultivated well and strengthen those areas that are already going well. But at the end of the day, it's about listening and reflecting, and then evaluating what needs to be fixed or maybe tweaked, but also accepting that if it's not broken, don't fix it.
Yeah, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Let's talk a little bit about you and your background.
Sure.
What brought you here to this position now?
So I've been in education for 22 years now. I spent the first 16 years of my career in Waltham. I grew up there, teaching history at both the middle school and high school levels. I coached a couple of sports, and then my last couple of years in Waltham, I was an assistant principal. And then sometime in 2019, an opportunity arose to interview for principal job at North Middlesex Regional High School, which is out in Townsend. It's a small regional high school which has Pepperell, Townsend, Ashby comprising that school, and then spent the past 5 years there. But I always knew I wanted to be closer to home. I live in Burlington. Mm-hmm. My kids go to school in Burlington. I knew I wanted to get back this direction at some point. And I wasn't necessarily looking to leave where I was at. I enjoyed my time at North Middlesex. A lot of great people there. And but when the opportunity arose in Burlington, I said, let's go for it. It's a district that I've come to appreciate as a parent a lot. Being in the community, I know that people here value education, and the opportunity to be part of that team was appealing to me. So that's kind of the draw for me. Again, I wasn't expecting to leave my old position, but when something happened right around the corner in a district that I know values education, that I know puts its students first, that has great programming, that values the quality of education for our kids, it seemed to me like an opportunity I couldn't pass up.
So you were a high school principal.
Correct. Yes, I was. Past 5 years. Yep.
What's the difference? Do you think, or do you imagine? Do you know between being a principal in a high school environment and a middle school environment? How does that transfer? What's the same? What's different?
A lot of the same. Minutia exists both. You're dealing with staff, helping staff navigate, difficult conversations, helping staff, supporting staff with difficult parent conversations, helping students realize and rationalize the importance of education, but also helping them navigate some challenges, whether it be academic, whether it be social emotional, and really helping to build kids, and this I think is universal in both settings, building a skill set they need to utilize outside of academics, whether it be accountability, responsibility, autonomy, self-awareness. So you're building skill sets. I think middle school comes with different challenges than high school, but you can reciprocate that. With high school you can talk to them as young adults. Middle school, I think that's still an opportunity because it's a big transition time. It's a big 3 years where kids are coming into their own and identifying themselves and really figuring out who they are as individuals. So there's a lot of parallels, but I think the biggest change will be maturity, right? And that's nothing no one can control. That's biological. So, but I think the environment for the most part is going to be very similar with students that are passionate about certain things and not loving other things about school and having to navigate that. So, and to be fully honest, there are some things that I'm not fully aware of yet because I haven't been in principal at a middle school before. So that'll be a change. There's no doubt about that.
There's always something new to learn, huh?
Yeah, and I'm excited about that. I mean, I think one thing we preach as educators is be lifelong learners. This is no different for me, you know?
Yeah. I want to ask you about a couple of specific things that are going on at the middle school that I'm sure you will know about, but I also recognize that you're brand new, right? This is not, I'm not sort of expecting you to come in with answers or expertise, but you know, so don't stress about that.
It sounds stressful though. Okay, all right, I'll play along.
We'll take it easy. Okay. But a couple of things that sort of have been going on at the middle school level here in town is this conversation about math curriculum review. This conversation, Assistant Superintendent Dr. Lisa Chen has been kind of leading the charge on that review itself and on a conversation about offering Algebra 1 at the middle school level. That's very much in process, right? That there are no answers at the district level. This is an ongoing thing.
Correct.
How do you think as a new principal about sort of joining into that conversation midstream and becoming a part of that process?
I'm pretty comfortable with that. I mean, so if we break that down to some math curriculum, I was part of a meeting with all the admin back in June. Before I came on contract, there was an admin meeting that involved all the district leadership, and I participated in that and got some insight regarding Dr. Chen's vision for math for the district, working with an outside group, and I believe Dr. Thunder is part of that process.
Yeah, Dr. Kateri Thunder.
Correct, yeah. And, you know, so coming into, to answer the first part of the question, coming into it, I'm not worried about that part. Math curriculum I'm familiar with at the high school level and middle school level. If we break it down even more, the Algebra 1 to the middle school, that's a big jump. That would be a big jump because you're taking a skill set normally relegated for 9th grade, moving it down to 8th grade. Pros and cons to that, right? And no crystal ball here that I can give you a good answer on that. I'm definitely interested to see what the data looks like behind that because I would not be against it. I think you have to be cautious as to what students are expected to take Algebra 1 to the middle school level. Because if you're doing that, you're looking now at a tract of kids who are going to be taking AP Calc as seniors probably, based on the progression of math content. But I think it's a worthy dialogue to have with the curriculum. And I think if you're not evaluating the curriculum when you have existing now, you're not doing right by your students. And again, we have a lot more kids going into the STEM fields now, so STEM and engineering, so starting them in Algebra 1 in 8th grade, again, for some kids could be a big jump, but it's an opportunity worth exploring though. And again, coming in midstream, I'm playing catch up on that conversation. Yes, definitely, I am.
Yes, there's a lot, I mean, as are we all, I think it seems very much like this ongoing thing.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Yeah, and then the other sort of major development that's been going on at the middle school, I think, is potentially even less part of the day-to-day, I imagine, so far. But the town just approved this $4.7 million field improvement project that's going to have a pretty significant impact on sort of the functioning of the athletic and sports facilities for the next while, but also some real improvements. Bob Kuhn, I think the operations director, is kind of the mastermind behind that. He is, yeah. What kinds of conversations are you starting to have about those projects? Yeah, so I was briefed on that. As soon as I came into the room, Dr. Conti and Mr. Kuna kind of filled me in on what's going on with that process. I mean, being in the community, I'm also aware of what's going on too. You know, end of the day, anytime you can take a field like that and increase user access and usability, it's huge. I know part of the scope and schematics would involve handicap accessibility, possibly removing the grass, making a second turf field down there, which I think long-term for the community is an asset. Would the school benefit? Of course, right. I mean, outdoor PE classes could increase. You'd have access that kids didn't have before for a variety of after-school activities. But any undertaking like that's going to have some hiccups. But my knowledge of where it's at right now, it only seems to me like a positive outcome for the community. But again, I think there's a price tag that some folks probably aren't thrilled about. But I do see the vision of where they're going with this. I'm now going to be part of meetings moving forward. So I'll have better insight in that question probably in 6 months from now. But yeah, I've been filled in on what the end goal looks like, and I'm excited about that. Awesome. Okay. Final subject matter, or final issue question, and then we're going to go into the fun stuff, all right?
Okay. All right.
Do you have your own sense of priorities, initiatives that you would want to spearhead, issues that you're particularly passionate about, implementing, anything along those lines?
So I've developed an early action plan that I'd like to integrate over the course of the next couple of years. As far as initiatives to start the year off, my initiative to start the year off is get to know the school community. I think it would be hasty to come out of the gate with anything more aggressive than that. You know, I think I'm going to a situation where you have a school full of passionate teachers, parents who are invested in the school, and that has a recipe for success as it is. Like I said earlier, I think my biggest task as a new principal in this situation, and if I'm going to make any initiative work, is building trust in establishing agency. You know, and you know, anytime someone new comes into a building, having been in the classroom and as assistant principal, I've gone through leadership changes before, and it can be daunting when someone comes in with a massive list of agenda items they want to try to change and create. For me, it's about making sure that we offer an education to middle school students that keeps them safe at school every day, makes them feel validated, and we're doing our best to get them ready for the real world. And I think, you know, I value math, science, history, and everything else goes with the core education, but I also value the idea of responsibility and accountability, and those really lifelong tenets of being a good citizen. So to answer your question, do I have an agenda to come in day one to change anything or institute any sort of referendum? No, I do not. My agenda is to get to know my staff and students as well as I can, and along the way reflect and evaluate, and you know, if things come up, we'll address them case by case, and at the end of year one, take a bigger step back and evaluate where we're at and see what we need to make changes on, if at all, or what we can just really kind of tweak and improve upon.
All right, brand new middle school principal Tim McMahon, are you ready for our final lightning round questions?
Oh yeah, let's do it. Yeah, I'm excited. Let's go.
Favorite middle school favorite memory from your middle school experience?
Ooh, wow, that's good. Favorite middle school memory, geez, 8th grade talent show.
Ooh, say more.
It was a theme for 1960s music.
Okay.
So my friends and I did a rendition of the song Wild Thing by, I think it's called the Trobes, the original song. Yeah, so we did a really tremendous rendition of that back in the 90s. It was awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm imagining there's no video evidence, which is a bummer, but you get to have the memory. You know what,
there could be. If there is, you'll never see it, but there could be video evidence of that existing, yeah, on an old VHS.
All right, your favorite class in middle school?
U.S. history, 8th grade. Yeah, favorite class by far. Great teacher, great class. Yeah.
Okay. Favorite school cafeteria food?
You're asking the wrong person, or the right person, I guess. Favorite cafeteria school food. I've been spoiled the past couple of years with very good cafeteria style food. You can never go wrong with a piece of pizza in the caf. You can't go wrong. I'm just frustrated that they consider one slice to be a serving size. But usually pizza's my go-to.
All right, and then last question, what kind of extracurriculars were you getting up to in your middle school years?
Back then, I was involved in baseball and basketball. I played the alto sax in the band. I was in the play. Yeah, middle school was a fun time. So I got involved in everything I could get involved with at the time. So yeah, and that's something I think fondly of in my middle school days. And eventually, my first job after college was teaching at my old middle school.
Oh wow, that's great.
So I get to go back and work with people I was once a student for. So that was cool.
That's so wonderful.
Yeah,
that's great.
Good memories.
I think that's the end of my question. But I think what you were saying, it seems like that's something that's really wonderful about Burlington too. It's got that sense of a lot of the teachers are former students. There's a real sort of intergenerational.
It's an awesome piece of the puzzle. Yeah, it really is. I'm learning. Everyone seems to know everybody else, and that's a real asset to this community, because people are that. If you leave, you graduate, you come back to teach where you grew up, I think that indicates that your experience here is a positive one. Yep. You want to give back. So I think we have a lot of folks on our staff and district-wide that speaks to, I think, in a big way.
All right, I feel like we could just keep chatting, but we'll leave it there for now.
All right, that's fine.
Principal McMahon, thank you very much for taking a couple minutes.
Appreciate your time.
All right, I'm Sydney Bowles, and you've been watching BCAT's Community Update.